This is Max Scherzer, Pro Boxing Fans. I'm delighted to be joined, as always, by Wade. I mean, you've made the journey over from America. Tai Mitchell got the job done.
Yeah.
What have we just seen tonight?
I mean, a spectacular show. Misfits always puts on chaotic and entertaining shows. Tonight they did it again. Knockouts galore on this card. And then Tai Mitchell showing the world what we all kind of knew, that he was a high-level operator. He is a guy that can fight at world level. And I think the call-out of Ben Whitaker is perfect for him at this point. I know that maybe not perfect for Ben Whitaker, but at this point, we're in the sport of boxing that hopefully doesn't shield fighters, right, until they get a belt or until they have the big payday or whatever. This would be a great fight for the UK. I think the fan base would love it. I think both guys are right now in that spot where a win like that could even push them further into the world scene. So hopefully we get that. But yeah, man, Tai operated like a smooth criminal tonight. He was a monster.
Coming into the fight, did you expect Gabe Rosado to be more of a test than Sean Hemphill? And obviously, was this just Tai's levels tonight?
No, yeah, I love Gabe Rosado, so I won't sit here and disrespect him. But I did feel that the bigger test, just because of where they're at in their career right now, was Sean Hemphill. He was the number 14th ranked guy at the WBA, and that's no offense to Gabe. He's fought for world titles, and you know, his mind. Yeah, that guy has way more experience, and if he could put that mind in a 25-year-old Gabe Rosado, we'd have a different fight, you know, maybe, but maybe not at the same time, because Tai Mitchell is just a high-level dude and showed it tonight.
I just spoke to Fraser Clark, and obviously we know everyone that Tai sparred, AJ, Fury, everyone.
Yeah.
How does Whitaker-Tai play out in your eyes? How does it actually play out?
They're both a little, you know, I wouldn't say unorthodox in the case of Ben Whitaker. He's a bit flashy, but he's got great fundamental base, and that's kind of how Tai is too, but he's a lot more unorthodox. The hands are like super low, and he's very long too. He's got a great reach. Distance management's good. Puts together punches, I think, sometimes a little bit better than Ben Whitaker does. Whitaker's a one-shot, pot-shot guy. He'll hit you, stare at you, pop you, hit you again, turn you, hit you. Whereas if Tai thinks he's got you hurt, he's coming after you, right? And he's just swinging for every angle he can. So I think it would be a great fight. I think it'd be a great matchup. I mean, Ben Whitaker is just one of the best right now in his kind of space at his kind of weight and, again, experience level. Talking about a silver medalist, man. He gets better than that. It's a gold medalist, but you don't get much better than that. So we talk about, you know, what's Tai Mitchell's level, what kind of test, that would be the ultimate test.
It looks like Eddie Hearn is going to be taking almost the Keith Connolly role with Tom Aspinall here, becoming a bit of a manager behind the scenes and probably a bit of a pain in the backside for Dana White. Is that how you think this is going to play out?
Yeah, I think Eddie was tired of seeing the guys like Keith Connolly do it to him, you know, and finally went, you know what? And I think it's more than an MMA move. Mark my words on this. I think the way the boxing scene's going, if you can't have everybody under your promotion, you can certainly manage them. And with Zuffa boxing becoming a big player, especially in the U.S. market, it'll be interesting to see if Eddie takes on a Keith Connolly role in boxing. And some of these fighters that may not have management that want to work with Zuffa, and Eddie doesn't have to take on any overhead, doesn't have to put on the show. All he has to do is represent them and get the best option for them. So I think it's a very smart move from Eddie. I don't know how much it'll amount to in MMA, because MMA is its own, you know, beast. The UFC is the sport of MMA. So if you're not fighting there, where are you fighting? There's not 20 different options like there is in boxing. So let's say that Dana or Hunter or Mick Maynard goes, we don't want to talk to Eddie. Then what does Tom Aspinall do? You know, it's like they hold all the cards. So I think they'll be able to do business. I don't think Eddie is going to walk in there and be like, well, this, or we're not fighting. That's not how it's going to go. But I do think it's a massive weapon in both Tom Aspinall's arsenal inside of the cage and getting his contracts and fight stuff done, but outside, commercially. You're talking, you know, endorsements, brand deals, sponsorships, all these things that maybe Tom wasn't doing as much with, that he will be able to now. And then the kind of cherry on the top for Eddie is the fact that he gets to see UFC contracts now. And he gets to talk in more depth to other fighters. Like, he's talking about half a dozen UFC fighters wanting to talk to him. He's going to get some intel, and he's going to use it and weaponize it against a lot of the UFC fighters that are still there. Like, you guys should be getting paid this, and this, because I know what the Zuffa boxing guys are getting, and I know what you're getting now. And I think it's going to be a little bit of a Cold War we're going to see over the next year and a half to 2 years from both him and Dana.
Tom obviously has 2 more fights for the UFC, and I know I am kind of asking for a guess here, but we hear the quotes from Tom's dad saying that he doesn't want Tom to re-sign with the UFC, and I've also heard Eddie say that Tom could make 5-10 times more money in boxing. If you was to guess, does Tom Aspinall fight in the UFC after these 2 fights, do you think?
I think it all completely depends on what happens, right? Like if Tom comes in and just starches out the competition and there's really nobody left, he might go. You know what I mean? And who would fault him for it at that point? Because we saw what Francis Ngannou just did. Made himself a shit ton of money. Didn't really do anything in the MMA scene. I mean, ran the pockets of PFL, ran them up. And then he had 2 boxing fights where he got paid even more and you know, got a shot at Tyson Fury. So the potential's there, and Eddie has been a player in that whole scene the entire time. So if Tom goes in and just wipes everybody out, he may be like, I'm done. I did all I wanted to do. Now, if there is somebody that he still has yet to fight in those 2 fights, maybe there's an Alex Pereira hanging around, a John Jones still there, or maybe he loses one of those fights, it could change some things.
Jai Opetaia fights the inaugural Zuffa world title. I think as of right now, he's not fighting for the IBF.
So
what do you make of it?
Yeah, it's so weird. We knew this was going to happen, though, right? The IBF has had issue with Zuffa trying to, you know, elevate their belt and I guess not have the IBF belt a part of it. Even though Zuffa was like, yeah, he can have it, but this is one he's fighting for. He can retain that, but he's fighting for this one. So it's a bit of an awkward situation. But people, we knew this was coming. This was the way that Zuffa's going to operate. They're going to build their own league. They're going to be a UBO. They're going to essentially house whatever they're doing in boxing, and everybody else can be what the UFC kind of does, B league, right? I'm not saying that, but that's the way they're going to think. And I'll be honest with you, I've never been a fan of the 4-belt system. I understand it gives fighters more opportunity to, you know, pitch themselves as a B-side to another championship, but how do you determine who the best in the world is by having 4 best in the worlds, you know? That's a simple answer, and I know it's more complicated than that, but we'll see what happens. I think that it's going to get a lot more confusing before it gets clearer, though.
I know you say you're not a fan of the 4-belt system, and also we know exactly what Dana wants to do here and have his own, but Jai Opetaia in almost every single interview forever said he wants to go undisputed.
Been saying it.
So how does this play out?
I don't know. I really don't know. It's going to have to be like Zuffa trying to work and put Jai Opetaia on other promotions and not just have him fight on Zuffa. You know, these Ring Netflix cards are probably a great place for that, where they can entice another world champion to come over. What I probably envision is that they do let Jai Opetaia fight for all the belts, or at least unify the belts, and then when he's done that, they just go, these things don't matter anymore because you've done it already. You're now Zuffa #1, whatever. And then from that point on, he's already won them, so now he can just, you know, do what he wants to do with Zuffa. I just really don't know, but I assume you could see him on like those Netflix Ring magazine cards where they're putting the Zuffa guys up against maybe some other guys from across the world.
Just last one, Wade. Logan Paul, Le'Veon Bell. Just what's going on here? What happens?
It seems like they're going to do it. I got to check my phone and see what the update is now, because Logan said he sent the contract in the email. I know that Logan really wants to showcase, you know, for one, the build of this flag football thing. That's what it was all about, him and Tom Brady. But 2, he wants to show he's a tough guy by beating up guys that don't fight. Le'Veon called his bluff. Fair play to Logan. He said, all right, let's do it. And Logan's confident in himself. Listen, as much as I may, you know, not like the guy, he's a talented athlete and he can box. And so for all the NFL guys that are saying, oh, Le'Veon's going to go in and smack him up and do this and that, Le'Veon's my boy. One of my good friends, but I'm not going to bullshit and say he's going to go in there and destroy Logan. It's a good fight, and Logan will be prepared. It's in his backyard. Be careful. That's all I'm saying.
Definitely, Wade. Thank you as always. Thank you.